Hey everybody, how's it going? And welcome back to another Ace Defender video. First off, saying Happy New Year to everybody. Hope you're having a good one so far. So, today's a little bit of a different one. I want to bring you a tier list. Now, I've been approached by people in the Discord to bring out various different tier lists. Now, I've been in chats with Pino, and at the moment, I just want to say that we are going to be making quite a few tier lists, but we're going to be taking it in turns and we're going to be doing various different things. At the moment, we've got it marked out as Pino is going to do a PvP tier list. I'm going to do the free-to-play tier list, which is this one. We're going to do a frontline, backline tier list, and then Pino is going to focus on a pay-to-win tier list. So, if you haven't already, do go over and subscribe to his channel, because there will be content coming out of future tier lists. If you are in the Discord, then it's going to come up in the content maker. However, for both of us, it does help us if you just subscribe. It allows us to just get a little further and all of that, so it does make it that little bit better. So anyway, with that being said, let's kind of get straight into it. Now, I have spoken to a few people, I've sent this tier list. This is kind of the end result that I've come up with. Please bear in mind that this is free to play. Like, this is entirely free to play, so it's going to be a bit there and then. Now, I do understand that not everybody is going to agree with this. This is just sort of a general guideline. Most people will agree with it, other people won't. If you think that there should be other characters in different categories, then, you know, I'd love to hear your explanation below in the comments. And then, you know, in future I will be updating these tier lists, whether nerfs or buffs come out, or new heroes, or a bit more testing gets put in with new team comps. But for the moment, you know, this is how it's going to be, okay? But with that being said, let's get into it. So first of all, we're going to start off with the D tier. Now, there's going to be a character in here that you probably already know. There are two legendary honorable mentions in here, and then other things that might surprise you. So, first one in the D tier is going to be Celia. Now, she is an honorable mention. She is a legendary hero. So, you know, she's alright, she's good. She does damage to all enemies, and she has the 35% chance of silencing them. So, you know, she's a good early game character if you want to pass any of the early levels. So, you know, keep that in mind. However, do remember that the maximum she can go is legendary, so which is red border. She can't go any higher than that, and she can only go higher than 160. But you only really want to use her early game until you start unlocking, you know, more of the immortal faction heroes, and then you can use others, and she can be fed off into others. Now, the next two characters might surprise you. Now, because of things have changed, again, like I said, this might change. First of all, in D tier is Brenda. Okay, now, the problem with free to play is you are very, very limited to the diamonds you can get. Sorry, excuse me 1 second, I'm just going to grab a drink, my throat's a little sore. Okay, so, Brenda. She's very difficult to get. She's in the Gold Leaf store. It's the only other way about her, or sometimes through timed events. Now, she's put in the D tier because I think there are much better devil heroes than her to get, and she's not really that great at getting. However, like, compared to, say, PvP, she's up in the S plus tier. You know, she's amazing. But for a free to play, no. Now, the other character we're going to put down there is Levine. Again, farmable wise, all of this, all of that. However, like I am saying, this may change. Now the reason I say that is because there is this. A Devil Hero Shard selection, and she is in that. But I do still think Nordil is a better choice out of that. So, for the moment, and for the purpose of this tier list, she is going to be left down in D tier. So, that is going to be the end of the D tier. Moving on, we've got the C tier. Now, the C tier is going to be, again, another 3 characters. So starting off, by the way, just a little notice, this is in no particular order on left to right, okay? This is just in tier. This is not like this is the number 1 D tier, number 2, that's just D tier. These characters are D tier, C, yada yada. Okay, we're gonna go with Vladis for C tier. Now, although he's a warrior in the Holy Light, I'm not a huge fan of this character. Like, Zhang Yan is so much better than him. But, you know, he's not the worst character. But again, trying to also think about how easy it is to get these characters farmable and that lot, so he's going to sit down there. The next one, unfortunately, is Rex. Now, he's a tank. He has defense reduction, but he's, in my opinion, he's not massively that great. I personally think if I was ranking the tier factions, probably Nature would be almost at the bottom for Team Comp. Because I don't think, although he's an immortal, I don't think he's as good as what they kind of should be. But again, he could be better. Maybe if he had like an increased damage, maybe if he attacked all 6 like Zhang Yan done, and I don't know, maybe instead of a column he done like a row of defense reduction, he would probably move up to like A or S tier, and depending if they adjusted his stats or not. But with that being said, the third and final character in C tier is going to be Nora. Now, Nora is another light faction hero, and I don't think she's great. She's alright for the heals, I suppose, and the small attack buff. There are better characters out there. She doesn't do amazing damage either, so yeah, she's going to sit in the C tier. I think, you know, if you get her, you're probably better off just... You can keep her or you can get rid of her. On my main account, I seem to be getting loads of her. Like, I have her like Immortal 2-star or something, because I just keep getting copies of her non-stop, and I don't know why. But, again, and she's not greatly farmable. Now, the B tier. Now, I think this is where some people are going to have different ideas. But again, this is trying to focus on farmable, easy to get, and I suppose maybe and towards end free to play, really. Because you're not going to be like somebody who's pay to win, where they're going to have like 6 devils or 5 devils and a deity of some kind. So you've got to put that into thought. So the first in the B tier may not be a surprise to most people, but is going to be Dunkus. Now, I used to use, if you follow my free-to-play series, I used to use Dunkus quite a bit. He's alright early game. He does a nice little defense bonus to everybody. He has a potential for a stun, plus as well his rage skill grants speed up. So he's quite nice. He's not a extremely fast character, so it can cause problems, but he's not too bad, and he is farmable. You know, there are other characters probably better off choosing out of him, but once you do your tavern summons, you'll know kind of where you want to go off to, really. When you've done your faction summons at the startup of your new server, then you'll know. I got a lot of nature heroes, so I went more towards nature. But now that I've unlocked a lot more deity heroes, I can substitute out my nature heroes and put my deities in. I've also slowly switching over to the light faction as well, but there'll be more on that in the next free-to-play series. Okay? Now the next character we're going to put in is going to be Panka. Now, Panka is another nature hero like Rex. He's a tank. He's quite slow. His base stats from the index is about 12 to 13,000 lower. His attack to Rex. His raise skill grants you a 100% defense bonus, plus a taunt for 3 turns to focus attacks on him. He's another one that does a column attack. Maybe if he done a row attack, it might be a bit different. However, he's not very easily farmable at all compared to other characters. However, he could be a better tank, but then obviously, if you're comparing just Purple Plus, then he's better than Rex or farmable. But anyway, he's in the B tier. That's where he's going. Next character is going to be Theodorite. Now, I think Theodorite is probably one of the bottom levels of the Mooncrest heroes. I think the other ones have much better skills, passives. By the way, if anybody doesn't know, if we look here, this one here and this one here, these are what I personally call passives. So they're always there, they have a potential, but they don't require any form of like attacking or anything really. So, you know, he has a 50% chance to let out a battle cry, you know, on their turns or spawn in or that lot. That's what I call passives. So Theodorite is in the B tier. Again, he is not really farmable. Not very easily anyway. So, and I think the other Mooncrest heroes are a lot better to use than him. Now, the next one that you might disagree with some people is actually going to be Alia. Now, I put Alia in down at B tier because although she is a very good early game character. Now with your 7-day login calendar, you should get an Alia, and I would highly recommend putting her in your team. But I just think that towards the mid game, at least I do as well, you tend to replace her. She's very good early game hero, she's very nice, but towards the late game, tend to be that you replace her for someone else. Now she is farmable, you can get her, other people might place her higher than this. But again, this is another tier view from my point of view. I've asked people around and this is the final tier list. But if you disagree, and you know, you can have a structured debate over it without getting aggressive and that lot, put it down in the comments, we'll go through it, I'll update it month by month maybe, if that's what people want to do. Now I think the next 3 are going to be a bit controversial, however I do want to put my point of views out on them. Now the next B tier we're going to talk about is Titans. Now he is a deity hero that does very well for backliners. He's a mage, he increases rage regeneration for backliners, which is very good. However, we are thinking about everything here. Now, depending on the amount of deity heroes you have in your team, you've got to have deity artifacts to, you know, contribute to all of those. You've got to have armor. You've then got to somehow farm all of these character shards. And Titansum isn't really that farmable at the moment. Now, I know it has been out in some lucky wheels as like 105 star essences, so again, maybe if those lucky wheels are going to carry on, and in the earlier servers he's a lot more easy to farmable, I might change his position. But at the moment, he's down at B tier. Now the next B tier we're going to go for is net tier. Now, as a pay to play, he is not going to be down at B tier. Okay? He's going to be a lot higher. Now he's down at B tier. Again, he's not easily farmable. He is rewarded from VIP mainly. That's how you get him higher. And as a free to play, we're going to take a long time to get to VIP 6, which is nowhere near unlocking him. Unless you decide to unlock him via the wishing pool. But you've got to get far in the expedition for that as a free to play. So he's down at B tier because he is not farmable and not easy. Ooh, now the next one. People might disagree with again. Barbatos. Now, Barbatos is an amazing tank. If you have the carry behind him to be able to link in with his survivability. So ideally what you want is Barbatos in front row and then Nordil behind him, because of its then adds more survivability to Nordil and he can do a lot more damage. But the reason he is in B tier as a free to play player is because he's available through the lucky wheel. You need devil artifacts. Devil artifacts are extremely difficult to come by, and there's another devil hero that you are much better at hoarding for. So you can get him later, a lot later in the game, but I would say if you are a new player, you focus the Isoria Lucky Wheel and you skip the Barbatos. You might not, but as a free-to-play player, that's what I would recommend. So, that's the B tier done. That's everyone in a B tier. We're going to move on to the A tier now. Okay? Now, I think first of all what I want to do is an honourable mention in the A tier. Now, I don't know whether I go A or B, A or B, A or B. I've decided to leave him A tier. He is an honourable mention. It's Hoived. Now, he is a legendary character, so the maximum he can go is legendary rank at rank 160. However, he is very good. The fact that he can attack all 6 enemies with a 35% chance to freeze them as well can be clutch in getting you through some game modes. Now, if you are struggling and you do run like a Mooncrits team or something and you do have him in there, he is definitely, I would say, a lot better to have in the team than Theodorite. Again, you might decide differently, but he's an honourable mention in the A tier. Next in the A tier is going to be Enid. Now, I thoroughly like Enid. I don't know why. There's just something about her and her kit that I really like. I would even go to say that she was probably in my favourite characters. She attacks all 6 heroes. She does a dot damage, which is damage over time. She increases her own attack and she has a life steal. She's a very good character. I don't think she's S tier material, but yeah, she's good. She's good. Maybe if she was farmable in like Alliance store or the Arena store, then maybe I'd move her up to S tier. But for the moment, she sits in the A tier. She's still a very good character, but the farming just is a bit difficult. Next is going to be Valkyrie. Now again, this is a little bit controversial because she is a very nice tank and people really like to use her. However, as the game progresses, she's probably very good at the start and mid-game, but late game you're probably going to sub her out. But as a free-to-play player, you never know. It depends how many copies of her you get. On the free-to-play account, I've pretty much got her to Mythic. I'm just waiting on another couple of light heroes so that I can get her to Mythic. but I've been very lucky with the pulls in that lot, so... But she's going to sit down at A, because again, I think there are better characters, so, you know, that's going to be her. Then the next character in the A tier list is going to be Garrett. Now, Garrett is a very good character. He increases all characters of crit chance. He also has a increased bonus crit chance if you are a Mooncrest. I believe it goes up to almost like 27%. He also does a rage attack which reduces attack of all enemy team members. So, yeah, I like him. He's farmable. He's a mage. He is a little bit squishy. He's definitely backline material. But he's good for your... Definitely good to have as a Mooncrest team. And early and mid game, very good. Maybe towards the late game, probably put him out and put something else. Now, another character in the A tier is going to be Bethorian. Now, she is available through certain packs, but you have to buy her. Again, she's a very good hero. She is very, very good in single target damage, especially for the pay-to-play players. And she can be a big pain to deal with as you progress against the AI. But because of her lacking ability to be farmable and, you know, the luck of potentially drawing her in the tavern, she sits at the A tier, but she is a very nasty character to deal with and can sometimes be an irritation, but she's very good to avoid the front line, go for the back line, and I haven't tested her out yet, but I believe when she's paired with Brenda, if you're like pay to play, they can be quite annoying together. But that's going to be Brenda. Then we're going to move on to Regal. Now, he is a very nice tank. He is farmable. He probably performs a lot better. I think it's at 141 where he starts giving like defense bonus and life steal and shield. I can't remember what the specifics is, but there's something that happens at 141, I'm pretty sure, that makes him a little bit nice. I think it's the attack reduction. He starts giving attack reduction, so I think maybe you can start focusing on him. Again, he is a very nice tank, he is very good. Some people might even put him at S, but I put him at A, and I'll talk about why I put him at A when I get to the S tier. But yeah, but he is a nice tank. You know, he has lifesteal for himself, defense up for himself, plus I think it's damage reduction, plus damage reduction for other Mooncrest heroes. If it was higher damage reduction, then he'd probably be up in the S tier, but I believe it's only a small percentage. He has stun, a low stun, I believe it's about 20%, and he also has the chance to reduce the attack of the enemy team, but I believe that's at 141 onwards. So he performs a lot better at late game, but yeah, I like Regal, but for this purpose, he's down here at the A tier. Now, the final character I want to add into the A tier is Zhang Yan. Now, I think Zhang Yan is one of the top end of the light tier characters. He's very good to push for late game. You do get a copy of him through the expedition. I believe it's the very last expedition that you get a character shard at. I might be wrong with that. But all in all, he's very good. He does have a rage that attacks all 6 enemies, and he has a lifesteal with it as well. But yeah, I just think, yeah, it was tough choices, so we've got him down in the A tier. Now, the S tier. I think these two tiers are where it's probably going to get a bit controversial for people, but I'm going to give my thoughts and my reasonings as to why I've done it, and you can make up your own minds. So, S tier. Now, the first character we're going to start off with is probably another one of my favourites, just because I like the artwork. is going to be Zoltan. Now, when you first start a new character, after the 7-day login, you get given a epic Zoltan. Now, it would be nice if he was made a lot more farmable. Now, I know he's available in the Silver Leaf shop, however, Silver Leaves are very difficult to come by, and I'm going to talk about another character which is, I would say, probably a lot better to get than maybe a Zoltan through your Silver Leaves. But he is very good. He is, like Bethorian, he is high single damage target. He grants himself a shield. He has lifesteal, and he has the ability to stun. He is also quite tanky as well. And the higher you get him, the more tanky he is. So, also the more shield he gains when the character has higher health. I like him. I think you giving him in the early game is good. And if you equip him with an artifact as well, just off he goes. I like him. He sits at the S tier quite nicely, I think. Now, the second character I want to talk about for S tier is going to be Angelia. Now, Angelia is a very, very good hero for the nature team. She has an increased dodge chance. She has an increased attack. She can decrease attack. She has the ability for her basic to charm. Not charm like an Isauria, but she can charm an enemy into doing basic attack. And I think with the kit that she has, that's good enough for her to be S tier. If she was farmable, a lot more farmable for a free-to-play point of view, she would probably, like, if she was in, say, the Alliance store or the Arena store, or, you know, some form of her being a bit more farmable, like in the black market, she would probably definitely be an S+ character. But her kit is there. Now, you know, she is available as a first purchase, which I think that's an amazing bundle. And, you know, if you were going to spend anything on the game and you're new to it, I would buy that. It gives you 1,555 gems, plus a purple plus Angelia. But again, it's down to you. I'm doing a free-to-play series where I am purely free-to-play, spending 0 money. But she sits up there. And the next character I want to talk about is going to be Serenir. Now again, she's another deity, but she is probably a lot better as a free-to-play character than, say, Neptir Handsome. Now, she's available in 2 areas of the black market. She's available via the King's Arena for 840,000 tokens. Now, that is quite high, and there is a bit of controversy between people of whether you go for her or whether you go for a deity artifact. Depending on how you're going and where you are, you're probably better off going for the deity artifact. However, I do believe with regards to just collecting your income, the 2 King's Conquests, providing you get all of them correct, you can potentially get one of her a month. But as a free-to-play player, it's going to take you a long time to get anywhere anyway. So she's sitting up at D tier. S tier, not D tier. She has an immunity shield, she has an attack that attacks all 6 players, and she also has an increased crit damage buff as well on her. So she definitely sits up at the S tier. Now, the next character I want to talk about is going to be Vladir. I love Vladir. And I think he sits above Regal. Now, he is a very good character if you can get him. He provides lifesteal to the entirety of the team. when he gets to a certain level, I think it's 141 again, but it's 121 or 141, I can't remember. But when he does his raid skill, he will grant a defense bonus to the character behind him for 1 turn, which is very good. Whereas sometimes people would put their Isoria behind him or their squishiest character behind him just to try and make them survive a lot longer. But I like Vladir. He is a little bit difficult to get. He is available in the Silver Leaf store, but if you get copies of him and you decide you want to go for him, then I would highly recommend him in your team. I used him for a long time before I started getting more deities and devils, but yeah, I really like him, so I think he's S tier. The next character I think is S tier is going to be Feng Li. Now, she's probably up in the top 2 Holy Light characters. She very high damage. She attacks front row column. She's very good for taking down front row characters. She also has the ability to cause accuracy down to your opponents, so they have the chance to miss, which is very nice. Again, very strong character, S tier. A little bit difficult to farm, but she is available in Silver Leaf, and depending on how lucky you get with RNG, she can be available through the Chucky Adventure box at the very end. Now, the next character I want to add into the S tier list, we'll carry on with the faction side of things, Margeria. Now, a lot of people don't really think she's any good, but if you've looked into it and that lot, then you'll find out how good she actually is. Now, she can actually hold her own at a fairly low rank with a half-decent artifact. Now, she is very, very strong character. She has the ability to stun. She grants defense bonus. She grants defense debuff to the enemy, and she grants attack increase to your characters. Obviously, it's additional attack increase if it is your other Holy Light heroes as well. And she's available in the Silver Leaf. Now, I pulled a copy of her on my free-to-play, and I'm going to buy another copy of her in the Silver Leaf store, and I'm going to work Artifact towards her, because she is a very strong character, very good, and I think she's going to put me very far. So, I believe we have a couple more characters left in the S tier, and then we're going to move on to the S plus tier, and then that's going to be the video done. So, I hope you're enjoying it so far. If you've made it this far, I thank you. So the final character that I want to put in the S tier list is going to be Carmel. Now, I haven't done masses of testing with Carmel. In fact, she's been the character who I've gotten the least of, but she is available for less silver leaves in the Silver Leaf shop, and you can also get 2 copies of her before reset, rather than Serenir, which is 1. She's a very good character, she has good survivability, and especially the fact that when her health drops to 0, you don't just... what do you call it? Sorry, excuse me. You don't just gain immortality for 1 attack, you gain immortality for the rest of that turn. So if she's the only character alive on your front row, and no one has any rage skills, and they're all single attack, they're all going to attack your Carmel, but they're not going to do anything, they're not going to kill her, because she has immunity for the rest of the round. And then at the end of that round, she's going to heal herself for a percentage of her HP, depending on what level you have her. So, She's very good, she's very strong. She's not the easiest to be farmable, but she is farmable. The next character I want to add in, now she's just been placed here because of people doing testing and that lot, and if you started playing over Christmas you would have been guaranteed a copy of her. And if you know who I'm talking about already, it is Lorraine. Now people have done testing with her, they call her very strong. We still don't know what kind of rank she needs to be at the moment as to how viable she is. Like, whether she can just be purple, or whether she needs to be epic, legendary. I don't know. But from what people have told me, she's S at the moment. However, if she's not very easily farmable, she's gonna be dropped down. So like I said, this is where she's going to stick at the moment, just because of if you've got her over Christmas, she might be like this. However, when I do an update video, it might be moved around. She might be dropped around, other characters might be moved up, we will see. But for the moment, she's going to sit there. If she's not very easily farmable, I know she's in the gold lead shop, then she might be moved down. But she's a floater, okay? But by what people have said with her damage and that lot, she's going to be sitting at the S tier. So that's the end of the S tier, so that leaves us the S plus tier. And as you can see from the bottom, these are going to be our 5 characters. However, I do want to talk about these characters and why they are in the S plus tier. Now, for a free-to-play series, Tiburon. Tiburon is probably an MVP character for free-to-play. Even in a pay-to-play, Tiburon is only needed at Purple Plus. He is only used really for his passive skills, which is his skill set 3 and 4. So, which again are these two here. This skill set and this skill set. That is what he is used for mainly. I would, as you may have seen in my free-to-play series, if you do get him, if you get enough gold leaves, I would recommend you buy him first. He makes a big difference, he allows you to progress a lot further, he's very good in Expedition, Trials Tower, even PvP and that lot, you know. You can push a lot further with him. He adds more survivability to your characters. So I would highly recommend grabbing him. Now, the other character I'm going to talk over is going to be, of course, Ali Pida. Now, I may be pronouncing that wrong, it might be Alipido, it might be Alifinda. I don't know how to pronounce her name. So I call her Ali. Now, again, when you start a new account, at the end of the 7 days you are guaranteed to get her to legendary status. Providing, you know, you complete all the objectives daily, you will get a legendary Ali at the end of it all. Now, Ali is a very good deity, should probably stay on your team, the entirety of a free-to-play character. Frontline, yes I know she's not a tank or anything, but frontline, she has a 45% defense bonus. Her rage attacks one column, but applies a 20 slow to everybody. She also has the 50% chance to activate the skill and then a 50% chance to freeze a character in front of her. And when she levels up even further, it goes from one turn to a 2-turn freeze. So she is a very good character. You know, she's a must-have for your free-to-play series, but again, you do get her, so she's not that difficult to farm or anything. Now the next character that's going to be added in, again, is a must if you are free to play, is the beautiful Isoria Dragon Witch. Now she is going to be your first devil character, hence the reason why Barbatos is down here. With free to play, diamonds are very difficult to come by, and Isoria is only bought around by lucky wheels at the moment. Now, she will be bought around, providing the servers stay the same, about 3 times within the first few weeks of your free-to-play series. Now, I showed at the start of mine, I was able to save up about 30,000 diamonds before the lucky wheel of her. You want to try and focus to get her to Mythic Plus. That's where you want to aim for her. Now, with 30,000, I was able to get her to Legendary Plus. And then I just need 4 more copies of her and I can get her to Mythic Plus. Now, I did spend a few more diamonds and roll the Devil Artifact wheel to get 1 Devil Artifact for her, so that I don't have to buy it through the Gold Leaf shop. So that's what I did as well. But if anything, as a free-to-play character, these are definitely your must-have free-to-play characters. Tiburon should probably be your first purchase on Gold Leaves. However, if you get him another way, I believe he's available through a Tavern Summon, or like the events change and he's available for a reward. Congratulations, put him in your team. But again, doesn't really need to go past Purple Plus. So if you have him, don't then go and spend your Gold Leaves on him. Spend them on something else. Ali, definitely have her. Isoria, focus Isoria. Down to you entirely. I would personally focus the Isoria and skip the Barbatos Lucky Wheel. And then you can get Isoria to Mythic Plus. But she is definitely a must-have. For any account, she is a must-have. But as a free-to-play, she's just that little bit more because you're limited. Now, the last 2 characters are Nordil and Sabnak. Now, these 2 are in here because I would personally say they are in here because they are definitely a you pick one or the other. Okay? Now, Nordil is a lot more obtainable now, like I said, because of this deity hero shard selection chest. Now, I've had one of these on my server, I haven't had another one, and because he's in here, he's now a little bit more farmable than Sabnak. However, Sabnak is, I would probably rank him higher than Nordil in damage, performance, and just being overall better. But yeah, you've definitely got to make your own decision between Nordil and Sabnak. I would say, so for my account, I'm probably going to go Nordil just because I have that hero shard selection chest now, so it's going to be easier for me to get Nordil shards. However, if that wasn't the case, I was going for purely Gold Leaves, I would definitely go Sabnak. But the final decision is down to you. I think a lot of people are going to say that probably these 2 shouldn't be up here because they're hard to get and you've got Devil Artifacts and that lot. But these 2 are up here to pick one. Pick one of these and focus. Don't pick both. 2 Devils is going to be difficult enough to farm artifacts for. So you may want to go with just Nordil just purely because of the rewards. But I'm going to leave this up here for decisions. I may move him down to maybe yes or A, depending on what I think about any feedback in the comments and that lot. But at the moment, they're going to stay there. They are pick one. Now, this is the reason why I've done this video, is to talk why they are here, rather than just having this up in a beginner's guide and people be like, oh, well, why are they up there? It's like, this is the reason. Like, talk about my reasons why. So with that being said, that is the end of the free-to-play tier list. Now, if you want me to, I can update this maybe every month or 2 months, whatever, when new characters get added, if any buffs get put into characters, any debuffs get added, then obviously that's going to alter the list. Like I said, if these hero shard selection chests become a lot more obtainable, then I think that Sabnak will drop maybe to S or A, and it's just going to be these 4 up here. But for the moment, we're going by the fact that they aren't that accessible, and for endgame purposes, if you are going to focus, you want to focus gold leaves on devils really, or a devil, so you want to focus Nordil or Sabnak. One of those two, your choice. At the moment, Nordil is becoming a lot more accessible to get, but if we take that away and you're going purely by gold leaves, you had the choice. I would personally go with Sabnak because I think he's a lot better. I think his kit is just so much better. Definitely. And from the DPS rankings, he's been matching or outdoing Nordil, so it's entirely down to you. But yeah, so that is the end of the free-to-play tier list. If you've sat through to the end, then I thank you so much. If you like this, please give it a like and subscribe for more future content. With that being said, I'd like to give a thank out to Pino and Circ55 for help on this tier list with their feedback. With that being said, also, if you haven't already, please head over to Pino's channel to give him a subscribe. His latest video, which will be coming up, is the Part 1 Holy Light in-depth team building guide, and his next video is going to be a Part 2 of that. So keep an eye out for it. So with that all being said, thank you very much for watching. If you like this video, please give it a like and subscribe. Take care everyone, enjoy the rest of your day, and I will see you in the next one. Bye bye.